The day my 15-year-old son told me he owed $112,000 in credit card debt, my whole world stopped. I felt like a failure as a mom, but that was the day our story began. My name is Maya, and I live in New Mexico with my husband, Daniel, and our 15-year-old son, Ethan. Daniel and I have been married for 16 years. He's a real gardener at heart, a hardworking man who loves the smell of soil, the sight of green leaves under the sun, and the feeling of growing something with his own hands. Our life has always been simple. I stay home, manage our small household, cook, clean, and make sure there's always a warm meal waiting when Daniel returns from the garden. I love preparing his favorite dishes: chili stew, fresh corn tortillas, and roasted vegetables from his garden. But lately, life hasn't been as peaceful as it once was. Our son, Ethan, has become different. He used to be such a sweet little boy, always hugging me, always curious about the world. But somewhere along the way, as he grew older, he became distant, spending more time outside than at home, hanging out with friends I didn't know. He rarely joined us for dinner anymore. When I tried to talk to him, he just shrugged, said, "I'm fine, Mom," and went back to his phone. Sometimes I stood in the kitchen, looking at the empty chair at our dinner table, and my heart ached. I missed my little boy. Still, Daniel and I kept doing what we always did, working hard, loving each other, and trying to keep our family together. I never wanted to be rich. I never dreamed of luxury cars or fancy vacations. All I ever wanted was a peaceful home, a healthy family, and the hope that my son would grow into a good man. But one evening, everything changed. It was a quiet night in March. Daniel was watching TV and I was folding laundry when Ethan came home looking pale and nervous. He stood in the doorway, shifting from foot to foot, and said softly, "Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something." My heart sank. He never talked like that. We turned off the TV. He sat down, took a deep breath, and said, I messed up. I owe money, a lot of money." I frowned. "What do you mean, Ethan? How much?" He hesitated, then whispered, $112,000 in credit card debt. I froze. I thought I misheard him. Daniel's face went white. He stood up. "What did you just say?" Ethan looked down, tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to get this bad. I started buying things, paying for friends, trying to help someone, and then I got another card. And another. I thought I could handle it, but now I can't." I couldn't speak. My heart was pounding. Daniel clenched his fists. "You're only 15. How did you even get credit cards?" Apparently, he had used co-signed accounts, small loans, online stores. Everything spiraled out of control. He looked at us with pleading eyes. "Please, help me. I promise I'll go back to school. I'll work hard. Just please help me fix this." I looked at Daniel and I saw the storm in his eyes. That night, our home was filled with shouting, tears, and silence. Daniel was furious. "This is not our debt, Maya. He needs to learn his lesson. We can't just fix his mistakes." I tried to reason with him. "Daniel, he's our son. He's still a child. If we don't help him now, he'll be destroyed by this debt before his life even starts." He turned away, shaking his head. $112,000? That's more than we make in 2 years. We'll never get out from under it. But I couldn't give up on Ethan. I cried, begged, and pleaded. I reminded Daniel of all the times we'd made it through hard things before. Finally, days later, we sat together at our kitchen table. The sun was setting. The bills were in front of us. I took Daniel's hand and said, "I know this isn't our fault, but we're a family. We can do this. Let's make a plan. Let's take control." After a long silence, Daniel nodded. "Fine, we'll do it. But we'll do it smart. We'll set a goal, 6 years, no more." I promised him we would work together. We didn't know how yet, but we knew one thing: we weren't giving up. The next week, I sat down with a notebook and a calculator. I wrote at the top of the page, "Debt Freedom Plan." I started by making a zero-based budget. Every single dollar had a purpose. No guessing, no waste. We built a small emergency fund, just $1,000, so we wouldn't panic when life happened. Then I chose the snowball method. We listed every card, every loan, from smallest to largest. We would pay the smallest one first, gain momentum, and move on to the next. I taped our plan on the kitchen wall. Every month we'd update it. Every week we'd sit down and talk about it. It felt scary, but it also gave me hope. For the first time, we had a map. The first changes we made were small but powerful. We stopped eating out completely. No more drive-through dinners, no more takeout on lazy nights. Instead, I started meal prepping every Sunday. Big batches of chili, rice, beans, roasted veggies. Our kitchen became our best tool. I became obsessed with coupons, discounts, and sales. I learned to love store brand products. They saved us hundreds. We sold old furniture, unused clothes, and even an old lawnmower on Facebook Marketplace. Every penny went to debt. It wasn't glamorous. There were nights I missed our favorite pizza place or wished for a coffee at the cafe. But every time I felt weak, I looked at the wall chart and remembered why we were doing this. Saving wasn't enough. We needed to earn more. So I started offering small services around the neighborhood, cleaning houses, organizing pantries, helping elderly neighbors with errands. Daniel picked up extra gardening jobs on weekends. Even Ethan, our son, began working part-time at a local grocery store while going back to school. He handed me every paycheck. I could see the guilt in his eyes, but also determination. We said to ourselves, we're not just saving, we're fighting, we're building, and every dollar brought us closer to freedom. But it wasn't easy. There were nights we were exhausted. There were days I cried in the shower, wondering if it was worth it. Sometimes I'd open social media and see friends going on vacations, buying new cars, celebrating birthdays at fancy restaurants, and I'd feel a sting of envy. We had to say no to everything: trips, shopping, even small treats. Once I slipped. I bought a new dress I didn't need, and Daniel was so disappointed. We argued. But we learned. We always came back to the plan. And when emergencies hit, a broken washing machine, a doctor visit, we used our small fund, adjusted, and moved forward. Each struggle made us stronger. Each failure taught us something. Then came the victories. The day we paid off our first card, just $200, we celebrated with a homemade pizza night. We danced in the kitchen. Ethan smiled for the first time in months. After 1 year, our total debt dropped by $30,000. We were stunned. By year 2, we had less than $40,000 left. Our walls were covered with stickers and notes, little victories. We had planned for 6 years, but by the middle of year 3, we realized we were almost there. We pushed harder, worked longer, ate simpler, laughed more. We had become a team. And one morning, I looked at the spreadsheet and saw zero. We had done it. $112,000. Gone. In just over 3 years. I cried. Daniel hugged me. Ethan stood there, speechless. We were free. The next weekend, Ethan stood before us holding his last credit card. Without a word, he took scissors and cut it in half. "I'm done," he said. "I'll never live like that again." Tears filled my eyes. He had changed. He studied harder, stayed home more, helped me with chores, cooked dinners on weekends. We talked more. We laughed again. That mountain of debt had become our teacher. It taught us patience, teamwork, and gratitude. And it turned my son into the man I'd always hoped he would become. Now, as a family, we're setting bigger goals. Saving for college, for a small home renovation, and maybe one day, a simple vacation together. But now, everything we do is paid in cash. Looking back, I wouldn't wish that experience on anyone, but I'm grateful for it. We paid off $112,000 in just over 3 years. We cried, fought, and worked harder than ever, but we did it, together. And if we could do it, you can too. Here are the 3 lessons I want every family to remember. Know exactly how much you owe. Don't hide from the numbers. Facing them is the first step to freedom. Make a clear plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Write it down. Budget every dollar. Never give up. Progress is slow, but every step counts. Stay focused, stay hopeful. Debt is heavy, but love, teamwork, and discipline are stronger. I'm Maya from New Mexico, and this is my story. The story of how my family broke free. If my story touched your heart, please give it a like. It helps more families hear this message of hope. Share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll be here to share more real stories and smart family finance tips.